Hey everyone, this is Laura from Hey Thistle Bay. Thank you for checking out my first video. I really hope you enjoy it. This is going to be a Stardew Valley Four Corners Farm speed build. I have a lot of concrete thoughts about what the story behind this farm is, so I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I also just want to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Laura. Some people might also know me as Bird if we've met on Discord. I am a millennial gamer who is very socially awkward. This is very out of my comfort zone, but I'm so excited to be able to share things with you. So let's just get started with this video. So as you can see, I'm using the Four Corners map. It's not a map I've used a lot, but it is a map I really enjoy for multiplayer, obviously, because that's the way it's intended, but also for regular gameplay, because I love the idea of being able to separate out things so much, and it really does have a lot of tillable space, so it's really great for farming and getting to really expand things. One of the things I thought about when I was building this farm was that myself and my friends, we're neurodivergent in various ways. Most of us are queer. We've always had this reoccurring conversation about living on a commune together and taking care of each other and being, feeling safe and supported because we know that the people we're with are similar to us, and that really found family. And I don't know if this is really quite as universal as a thought as I think it is, but it feels like such a common thread, regardless of what social group I've been in, of this idea of just we all have such similar views. Can't we all just live together and have it be nice and easy? Because sometimes the world is not nice and easy. So that was one of the things I thought about when I was making this farm. I really wanted each corner to kind of represent a different playing style, which, again, is the purpose of the Four Corners farm, that there's the four different styles of playing represented. But I really wanted to make kind of personalities, I guess, and thought, I really tried to think it through, I guess. So this is the standard farm section. So I wanted to make sure that they had a lot of farm, area for crops. I wanted to put in some space for the honey, so that you can see I'm putting in some little flower beds to the side there. We have the little barn and the chicken coop, which are super adorable. There's no animals there yet because I've learned that trying to decorate a farm with animals is very frustrating because they are everywhere and you can't build around them. So I just expanded them and I got them nice and big. I don't think if you were to actually play this save file, you probably wouldn't want to put too many animals there unless you had a pretty high stock of hay in your silos, which I did put 2. So I mean, it is possible. I know myself, I'm always really bad for keeping those stocked, and I always rely on the grass for them to eat it as they go outside every day. So definitely something to keep in mind if you're hoping to decorate your farm similarly, which, I hope somebody does. I think this is such a great look, and I know when I was playing Stardew, when I first started playing Stardew, I always love to find different pictures of people who have decorated their farms, made them look so gorgeous and aesthetically pleasing. And even when I was early game, I would always try to emulate it in some way. So I would, if I knew eventually I wanted to have a heart-shaped farm crop plot thing going on, I would always plant it in that pattern specifically ahead of time. I also, touching back on the whole concept of a queer commune and stuff like that, I made the chest rainbow because it just felt really appropriate to me at the time. Yeah, so For context, in case anyone is not familiar with how I do my videos, I've posted a couple speed builds to Instagram, so I've talked to a few people about my process, but I will explain it here as well. I play on PC, and so on PC you're able to install different mods, and a couple of the mods I use would be things like I use Stardew Valley Expanded, though that's not featured in this video. I also use mods that allow me to do things like cheat my energy level. So as you can see, I'm doing all this work and my energy isn't going down. As you can see here, you can see the plants are growing automatically. That is also part of that cheat. Time is frozen right now, so I have it frozen at about 9 a.m. because before I started recording this, I ended up going to the carpenter shop and building all my buildings. When I'm just focusing on decorating a farm, I do just use cheats because of the fact that I typically have a very clear idea in my head of what I would like it to look like. And if I were doing regular gameplay, that would take a really long time. But everything I do use should be available in regular gameplay. I sometimes accidentally use something that's not technically able to be unlocked. For myself, I will say my actual farms that I play kind of more in a regular pattern of, like, you know, starting slow, not using cheats, all that stuff, they definitely do not look like this. Maybe like my very end game ones, like year 6 or not quite that bad, I don't know. They don't get like this very easily, is what I want to say. So, like, keep in mind when you're seeing these, I'm definitely using cheats and mods. Like, don't feel bad if on Monday, spring 1, which is what this is of year 1, if your farm doesn't look like this, like, do not feel bad, of course. And I mean, also just don't feel bad with your farm looking like anything because, you know, who cares? Stardew isn't really a game that's really done for the aesthetics. I'm just obnoxious and really like to make things pretty, I guess, in my own way. So this section of the farm is meant to be more of an orchard. So these people that live on this section would be really focused on brewing. So they have a nice big shed, and that's full of kegs. They have the bright big orchard with all the different fruit trees, the tea leaves, so they're able to brew tea as well. They have coffee planted, so they're able to brew coffee, and strawberries for some lovely spring strawberry wine. I also really wanted to make like a little area for Grandpa's shrine. I'm not sure if I'm 100% okay with how it turned out. It kind of like isn't as fancy looking, I guess, as I want, but also it does still fit the vibe. I'm obsessed with adding barrels. You will probably soon realize it's one of my favorite things to add. Barrels and like boxes and those little things of wood. I just feel like it's so appropriate. Like, have, you know, like storage and shipping areas, and these are places that are like, you know, theoretically creating product, and in a real world, you would not be able to just throw loose produce into a bin and have it be sold commercially. That's very much a Stardew fiction part of it, right? I put the statue there that you get after you finish Grandpa's evaluation. I thought that was a really great little addition to that area in terms of kind of making Grandpa's shrine feel a little more special. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the game and I'm going to do a little walkthrough more live and kind of talk again about the different pieces of it. Alright, so let's do the little tour. Okay. So I haven't upgraded the house yet because I have just not bothered. It's it's spring 5 of year 1 technically in this game, right? I thought about putting something here, but I wanted to leave the space open so that way if someone were to get the spouse, you'd want to make sure it stays nice and clear. I like the little addition of the barrels behind the house because I didn't want to put a single fence there. You might have noticed like I placed a fence, but you can only place one. And it looks like a solid piece of wood just randomly there. So not really great. Here's my little horse, obviously. I have the little bee honey section here tucked in. with some extras behind the silos. Hopefully with 2 silos you should be good for winter, and slash if you want to get more animals, you'd be able to accommodate them with having 2 silos versus the small amount of grass that is available. So you can see here I just have everything kind of sectioned off into different vegetable types. I think this is all the spring vegetables other than strawberries. I might be wrong. I'm really bad at remembering what actually can be planted when. My memory is like Swiss cheese. Here are my rainbow chests because this is a queer commune and that's just how it be. Something's got to be rainbow. All right, let's see. And then this is just the, barn and coop. Nothing too exciting. I love the little curves that this path makes. It's just one of my favorite paths. These ones in general I feel like are my favorite paths. I use them a lot. This one combined with also this one, this rustic wood one. Those are definitely the paths I use the most. I tried to use a few different others. I'm trying not to go too low because I have actually finished this farm. I just can only put 2 sections in one video, otherwise it just gets crazy long. Okay, so this is the orchard section. They have lots and lots of fruit trees. Obviously they wouldn't typically all be grown this much with the fruit on them unless you just decided to not pick the fruit from them after each season, which would be kind of silly because that's the whole point, is you want to be able to make wine. So this big shed is filled with lots and lots of kegs. If you're like me, I did want to put tappers here, I just forgot to. But if you're like me, I really like putting a single keg out front of the sheds and then loading that one last after you just fill up the entire shed. And that way, that when that keg is done, the kegs inside of the shed are done. So that's my actual gameplay tip for you. Here's Grandpa's shrine with the statue of, oh my gosh, which one's this one? Is that the Endless Fortune? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Coffee beans. Oh, there's a plant missing there. Oh, it's because I didn't put a scarecrow. Yep, there's a plant missing there too. Okay, well, lesson learned. Don't forget scarecrows even when they don't fit aesthetically. This corner would be the foraging's corner. So I did leave one log stump. I think the foraging and kind of brewing aspect does kind of fit together, although there's not going to be a lot that would spawn here still because I've filled up so much of the space. But I mean, if you're someone who likes foraging, you could still go forage in the woods and bring it back and brew your wine with foraged spice berries or whatever they're called. So you can still kind of explore it that way. And of course there's the tea leaves, so you can make green tea. And yeah, so those are the 2 sections of this farm. I'm really excited to show off the other sections. I just will do that in a separate video just to make sure I have time to be able to show it without having to speed up the video too much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more farm speed builds, please let me know in the comments. I'm really I play Stardew Valley, I play it properly, but I also do really like taking the time to just stop and decorate and make those kind of dream farms that I don't usually end up with because I restart my save files so often that I never really get far enough to make pretty farms. I usually get bored and give up way before then and want to start over. So all that to say, if you have ideas about which farms I should decorate next, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. If you have any thoughts on this farm, and my idea of the queer commune of people collecting together to each individually farm in their own way and help each other, if you have any thoughts, please feel free to share them as long as they're nice thoughts. no constructive criticism welcome. No, it's a joke. Constructive criticism is of course welcome, but like, don't be mean. I'm like, really, just don't be mean. All right, this is Laura from Hey Thistle Bay. It's been great chatting with you. I really hope you like this video. Subscribe if you want to see more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye, everybody.